We have kind of been talking about this for a while, but Patrik Laine of the Columbus Blue Jackets has cleared the Player Assistance Program. He is cleared by the league. So now teams can begin to start discussing a trade with Columbus for Laine. I think it was Aaron Portzline said that teams want to talk to him before they start negotiating trades for him, which makes a lot of sense. It's a guy coming out of a mental health situation. So they want to see how he's feeling, see how he's doing, see how he's recovering, and then go from there. But the next step in Patrik Laine's move from Columbus is here. You said something interesting about that situation before the show, that if the Hawks wanted to trade for him, they couldn't afford it. They don't have the cap space.
No, they don't anymore.
That's crazy.
I mean, the Blackhawks are under $7 million in cap space. So obviously they had no intention to ever even explore that option. If they were, they would have left enough cap space.
Laine, for the record, makes $8.7 million this year and next. Now, I think we can all assume that whoever is trading for him the Columbus is going to have to eat some of the deal.
Probably. But, I mean, you said they wanted a draft pick and a prospect. So
that's the latest,
If they want a first rounder and a mid-level prospect, they're probably going to have to retain, a bunch of that salary.
Columbus.
Yeah. Columbus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that they'd have to.
If they're going to, if a team comes at, say, a San Jose or a team that has the cap space, says we'll take all of that cap space, we'll take the whole contract, but we're only going to give you a fourth rounder, they may take that.
Oh, I think they'd for sure just welcome ridding themselves of that contract. And yeah, I mean, for sure. So just for the record, by the way, the Hawks have 6.6775 of cap space. If we want to get specific to the dollar amount,
you could trade someone on the roster, but they're not. That's not what they're looking for.
I don't think
it's not.
It doesn't seem like there's
never was in the cards, because if it was, they wouldn't have signed so many guys. They would have not signed Tyler Bertuzzi, or they would have not signed
Timo Teravainen.
Right. They would have left that space if they thought they were going to be able to pull a deal. I would have liked to see Laine on the Hawks. I think that's a low risk, high reward kind of move. I've always been a fan of his on the ice.
Yeah.
All he does is score goals,
especially against the Hawks. It seems
literally all he does. He's got that really unique sense of style. Always seems like a fun guy. He's gone through some struggles, but seems to have things that there's the narrative that all he wants to do is just play his video games, and he doesn't care about hockey. But I don't know if you saw a couple last week, there was footage of him training with Jerry Jeudy and the Cleveland Browns wide receivers working on like footwork. So it was like they showed this video. It's like, here's Jerry Jeudy, here's this Browns wide receiver, here's this Brown receiver, here's Patrik Laine. Like, one of these things is not
assumingly
like
in a really cool, oddly colored suit with some
no, he was wearing the bad orange shorts and the Browns t-shirt. He looked like he belonged, but he's putting in the work. He wants to play.
Yeah.
But another biggest issue with him, besides the not exactly sure what you're getting, mentally at this point, physically he's had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
As someone who's had him in my keeper dynasty fantasy league for many years, man, when he's on the ice, he's dangerous. Problem is he's off the ice almost as much as he's on the ice. So I think he would have been a nice fit for the Hawks. His contract fit that timeline, 2 years. You never know what happens in those 2 years. But it's not in the Hawks' plans.
Yeah, and I think a couple of things I want to be clear on. Like, the Hawks are clearly not looking for any sort of controversy to bring in. They don't need any sort of situations happening. However, it's important to note that none of the stuff with Laine is character.
No.
There's no concerns about him as a guy. But it's, is he recovered? Is he ready to commit? Is he ready to will he be happy in Chicago? Is this sort of situation he wants? And I think, for a guy who wants out of Columbus, he's probably going to want to dictate at least somewhat where he goes. Now, Columbus doesn't have to do him that favor. Like, look, man, you're asking for out. We're going to do the best thing we can for us.
Right.
To either get as much money off the books as we can or get as much back as we can for you. But I think typically when guys are in this sort of situation, the teams do their best to accommodate at least a little bit into a place where they're going to feel comfortable.
We all silly like the mayor.